Hello, it's me again, and we're going to have a little chat about mental health issues. So today is a lovely day, and it makes you feel very happy when you're in the sun. Well, it does me anyway. I feel a lot happy here. I feel like the sunshine is giving me energy and power, and making me feel happy. It's very nice, but obviously that does not solve all of the underlying issues that you may have. But certainly it goes a little way to helping how you feel, and feelings are very difficult to define. If you've got a broken arm, you can see it's broken and you can repair it. If you are feeling depressed, it's very hard to see that, and even more difficult to actually repair it as an illness. Obviously you can do the usual thing, go and see your doctor, and they can offer you a range of things. So they can offer you medication, they can offer you therapies. In particular, talking therapies are quite effective. Certainly they help me over the years. I'm not one to think of myself as being easily depressed, but over the years I have had very serious bouts of depression, and they've only really begun in the last 10-15 years. Before that, I coped quite well. Every life chucks at you, I was able to deal with it in my own way and move forward. But I think what was the catalyst of everything was 2000 and sort of 1-2. We had a business, my wife, me, and my male student, and his wife. We set up a business that was supposed to be equal partners. Long story short, we ended up getting ripped off by these people, and they walked away, leaving 20k of debt, which personally we were responsible for, because we'd signed the form equally, and there was no way that they were going to contribute to that. So that led to the initial downfall, which also sort of contributed to my marriage breakup in 2006. And I had a new job which I started for the Shore Trust in 2004. And I sort of put my everything in it. I put my heart and soul into doing a good job, and the job involved working with drug addicts and unemployed ex-drug addicts who I helped find work. They find employment or training courses.
Andy Wright is a lucky man. He loves his job. But his employers, the Shore Trust, are lucky too. He's been hugely successful since he began working here 2.5 years ago.
Hello, Andy, Shore Trust.
Andy has mild cerebral palsy and couldn't get a job himself for 8 years. Now he helps people with substance misuse problems back into work. Andy's out and about most of the time, meeting his clients wherever suits them best, here at Palmer Gardens, run by the Shore Trust. He's helped set Jonathan Warren up with training courses.
Currently been chasing up public liability insurance.
Now, after years battling depression and drug problems, Jonathan's about to start up his own tree surgery business.
I didn't have much confidence in myself. Coming and seeing Andy from the Shore Trust, I found that it opened doors that I didn't even realise existed, and that in its own right has given me confidence in myself to be able to use the skills that I learned at college, take them out there. I'm very much looking forward to getting straight into work. It's just a case of doing the bookkeeping course and then I can go, and I'm really, really happy about that.
Shaw Trust's emphasis on the needs of the individual has even seen Andy offering Tai Chi classes to his clients, people with whom he identifies strongly.
I had nobody like me to help me. If I had me when I was younger, I'd have probably had a job straight away. And in the end, I just had to go out and get a job and real determination. And luckily, I found a job, and I've not looked back since.
And, I'm not being big-headed, but I was really good at it. In the team, I had the best record for the number of achievements. I mean, looking back, I probably didn't play by the rules 100% of the time, i.e. with paperwork, but I got the outcomes. People were in employment, they were in training courses, and they moved forward with their lives, which was a good thing. But of course, during the depression time of marriage breakup, I was then hit by the realization that the people that were paying for our contract, which ironically was the DWP, so in effect I was working for them, although I wasn't. They came and did paperwork audit, and of course you know what I'm going to say now. They found many discrepancies mainly in my paperwork. Obviously the other team members had problems as well, but mine, because I had the highest number of outcomes, mine was found to be faulty. And of course they had to go round finding the evidence after the fact, which was quite difficult to do. So of course that didn't help, and contributed to my time off that I had to take due to being severely depressed, so suicidally depressed. And of course, if you are depressed yourself, you'll know that you don't really want to talk to anybody about it, or you can't. There's nobody really that you can discuss that with. You have to, in fact some days you don't want to get up out of your bed because you just cannot do it. You cannot face it. And of course there were many days like that until it was suggested that I have some help paid for by the work fund, the personal fund. So I had some talking therapies, and it worked really well. I was able to build myself up out of the depression, and obviously in the end I had to leave that job, and I actually went self-employed. This is the beginning of my time as self-employed Tai Chi health instructor. So it was a good career move.
Tai Chi is special because it's easy to do. Anybody can do it. You don't need a lot of space. You don't need to be experienced. You can come along and have a little bit of fun. And also, I mean, the side effect of it is the fact that it's good for your health. I think in my classes I get an average of between 20 and 30 from all ages, from very young children, school age, and all the way up to 102. I'm teaching around about 200, 250 people per week. Tai Chi is good for your health because it's very, very gentle exercise, where people wouldn't necessarily be able to do any form of exercise. They can take part in Tai Chi and reap the benefits.
So we had all that for probably about 2 years, and then of course the big thing happened in 2014. with the lead up of maybe a year and a half of getting progressively worse. My back operation, which should have been very simple, it should have been a 6-month recuperation and then back to work. But the day after I had the operation done, I woke up and I discovered that they put the pin into my nerve, and I had to have another operation, and that itself is a story best kept for another day, because you won't believe it. But I had discovered that I'm not going to be back to work in 6 months. It's more likely to be 12 or even never. So directly after that, I reverted back into my depression state, which was, justifiably, for anybody that's gone through that traumatic event and discovering that you cannot walk again when everything was supposed to be really good, and you discover that you cannot even wash yourself, you cannot put your clothes on, you cannot get out of bed without help, and the help that you have is not reliable. I mean, many times I was waiting at my usual time, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and they would not turn up until 10, 11, and then they would only do the bare minimum, and then I was left all day to fend for myself. And this was very much short-term help. Within 6 weeks that had all gone. I was left in my present state of not being able to even walk from here to the door, with pain in my body so severe that they wanted to drug me up with everything, and there I was worrying about paying the bills and having to go back to work. It just made me worse. So I really think that depression, in this case, I became very suicidal, and I went to my GP in the end because I was worried about it, and the GP obviously then referred me as an emergency patient to the NHS mental health, and I was given appointments pretty quickly to see people, and it was basically, talking therapies again, but because I refused to take the medication, which was, I'd already had some of it before, and it didn't work for my pain. So if it's not going to work for that, it's not going to work for the other things. And of course, if you're drugged up, you don't really fix the problem. Not that the doctor could actually fix the problem of my inability to walk, but there was that idea that there was a problem that needed to be fixed. So over a year, I think, at that time. So we're talking about 2015 by that time. And what really helped me was the idea of going to Thailand and trying to find and meet my wife, my current wife. And from then we've been having battles trying to get visas for her to come here to live, because the year after all of that happened, I was actually due to see a different doctor who may have done more surgery to correct it. However, because I couldn't commit, I had nobody here to look after me, and there was no way that I was going to go through all of that again. I had to cancel it because she was living in Thailand and I was living here. And this is the current state of play, in the fact that the pain is increasing, the distance I can walk is getting smaller and smaller, and it's not quite the same as last time, but it's very, very similar. And I think that the only rectification that we've got will be surgery again. And that is something that I'm not looking forward to, because it will mean basically the end of everything. The business will shut, all of the sessions that I teach will shut, and obviously with that then the income will go, so I will be living just off the basic minimum. That is assuming that everything goes well. Maybe in the future I can then return to work, however you can't predict it. And of course with everything that's happened so far, there is a high risk that I could end up paralysed, or I could end up with bladder incontinence, bowel problems. I could end up with all sorts of issues with the spine, which is a worry. So of course it's very hard for people to say, oh, cheer up, you'll be alright. It will never happen, but unfortunately it already has. It already has, many times. And I can't really say, if you're depressed and you're watching this and you're going, geez man, you've had a hard life. Yeah, just remember there's always somebody worse off than you. There's always somebody. So always try and remember that, because no matter how bad you feel at the time, there's always somebody going through something more than you are. I know that's a bit horrible really, but it makes you feel a little bit better. Of course, being depressed and being possibly in the public eye is also quite difficult, because sometimes you don't feel like making a video. You think, I just cannot be bothered to talk to people because I don't personally feel like it. Whereas an average person, they can just, they haven't got to worry about that. They haven't got to worry about making a video. I've sort of rambled a little bit. I hope that I've got the point across that there's always hope. I think I've rambled enough, so that's probably enough today. And I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.